Well, thanks, everyone. I was introduced to your group through Kim Holland, and I was very excited to be watching the meeting last week, and I didn't expect to be invited to speak this soon, but I'm pleased that I am. I want to spend the time tonight on teaching and sharing skills rather than talking about myself, although I could talk about myself, but that's not going to make you any smarter, and I want to make you smarter. So would you like to learn faster? Say yes.
Yes.
And would you like to be more productive? Say yes.
Yes.
And would you like to have more time? To do the things you love, say yes.
Yes.
But first, I want to tell you how to triple your learning at any event, whether it's a webinar or a conference. Most of the time, you just take notes on the content, and that's perfect, but there's two other parts you're missing. What's the speaker doing to get you interested and excited? Did they tell a story? Did they show a movie? Did they do a joke? Whatever it is that gained your interest and attention, that's a motivational strategy or technique you can integrate when you're presenting to people that you need. So you want to write that down, not just what you're learning. And the third thing you want to write down is, how will you use what you just learned? Most people find several weeks after they learn something, they don't remember anything. If you write down how you use it and then make a point of every day choosing 2 or 3 of those things that you decided you'd use and do something with them, then you own that information and you will never forget it. So that's 3 times more data than you would get from simply watching a presentation. Because today I'm going to teach you to read faster, improve comprehension and memory. We'll do writer's block at a future night. I could spend a whole night just on that. We'll have fun doing it. I actually helped launch the Comedy Network in Manhattan when it first started. Dennis Leary was their big star. He had me on 7 out of his first 14 shows with Richard Belzer, and I was Jon Stewart's first guest as well when he launched his show. So we'll have some fun. I've been on about 1,100 shows. So take notes. You're going to remember what you learned today with note-taking, and more importantly, share this with kids. Right now, there's a 50% dropout rate in 4-year college, 70% in 2-year college. It takes 6 years for the average student to do a 4-year degree. They need the help. So make sure whatever I'm showing you for work, you share with a youngster. You also could get free learning tips from peartree.com/newsletter. I thought I'd do something nice for the group. I'm hoping to be a member from peartree.com/newsletter. Use the www so it works. It does need that. Good. One of my students, Micah, passed the bar at 19. His brother's 22, and he's a flight instructor and attorney. His 15-year-old sister is in a first-year law school, will be the youngest person to pass the bar in the history of California, and the second youngest will be his 17-year-old brother who's in the second year of law school. Everything that they're using to do this is what I'm teaching tonight. So I unlocked the secret to learning super fast, and that's what we're going to talk about. It started in Brooklyn. I grew up in one of the worst neighborhoods in the world, East New York. That's where the movie Goodfellas was filmed. I've been mugged over 100 times. I've had guns, I've had knives to my throat. I've been beaten with bats. We moved when they raped an 88-year-old man. So when I tell you it was a tough neighborhood, it was a tough neighborhood. There was one safe place, the library. Gang kids treat libraries like vampires treat churches. They don't go there. I read a lot. By the time I was 11, I had college reading level. And when I went to college, I studied biology. And in my junior year, I got interested in the brain. I said to the dean, I want to do bio and psych. He said, you don't have enough time left. You only have 1 year, and you haven't had any courses in psych. And you'll have to do a 4-year program in 1 year and take 6 science courses at the same time. And at the time, I had 3 jobs. I said I could do it. And I did it. And I did it in 1 year. I took 18 credits of science a term, worked 3 jobs, and got an 800 on the GRE in biology. Got 3 questions wrong out of like 300 questions. I memorized biochemistry, genetics, cell physiology, embryology, plant systematics. So when people say, does it work with hard material? That's hard material. And then I did a graduate course in educational psychology in 7 hours and took the 6-hour test in 50 minutes and got a B+. So yes, it works. And I developed a program for Nightingale Conan. It made $65 million. I didn't get $65 million, but the program did. And we tested it. We did a double-blind efficacy study, and the average person doubled to quadrupled with no loss of comprehension. Been on over 1,100 shows. I don't know if it'll play or not on this television, but I'll give it a shot.
So can I read a lot of books on this thing?
Yes, the Sony Reader digital book can carry hundreds of books, like mine. There's over 1 million ebooks available.
As the world record speed reader, I strongly endorse this product.
So you can read hundreds of books on this?
I just did.
I did too. No, I didn't.
The Sony Reader digital book, starting at $199.
I thought Justin and I were like brothers, and I didn't get invited to the wedding. I don't know. I was very disappointed. It was fun. I feel very fortunate to have done that. But the thing that excites me is the kids. Because me doing it's a sideshow, them doing it can change people's lives, much more important. So while I'm showing you the skills tonight, think about how you can use it and help your families and friends as well. That's the real win. The problem is information overload. More is printed in a week than all human history through the year 1800. The average person only reads about 200 words a minute. Every 6 months, information doubles. All that's now accessible through the internet, online. So why do we read so slowly? Why is reading the road at 70 miles an hour, a suggested speed apparently in North Texas, easier than reading a book at 200 words a minute? When we drive, we multitask. We process front, back, left, and right, all at the same time. And we feel bored by what we're doing. We have to watch the road, the gauges, look out the signs, follow directions, and we're still bored. So we turn on the radio, talk to people, and talk on the phone, and we're still bored. Reading's one direction, the book is in front of you, but driving a car and talking on the phone's easier. Why? The answer to that holds the secret to reading faster. You need to understand your brain and how it processes text. We start by reading words one letter at a time, D-O-G. Now, where I grew up in Brooklyn, we pronounce this word correctly. It's dog. Here in North Texas, it's a dog. But whether it's a dog or a dog, something interesting's happened. We went from reading the letters one at a time to seeing the whole word all at the same time, and we see the word dog. The same way we could see the word hot as 3 letters or as a word. But put the word hot in front of the word dog, and it's neither hot nor a dog, unless you use a literal translation, and most of us wouldn't eat that bun. What's happening is when we're in a car, we see everything as a movie. It's very visual. But in the book, we read one word at a time. And if you look at it closely, we don't really read. When we read, it seems like someone's in back of our head. And if you looked in your head, there's an imaginary person in back of your head, and they're looking through your eyes when you read at the book, and they read it aloud in the back of your head, one word at a time. So a speed's limited to how fast this person could read aloud. That's why you read about 200 words a minute. That's how fast most people talk. We're using our eyes to hear what we're reading, and that's what slows us down. We found a way to see the movie in the book and only talk on what matters, and that's what I'm going to teach you to do now. After this meeting, pick a book you've read, preferably nonfiction, so that if you read it today, you'd have no confusion. And read it for a minute. Use a timer. And when you're done, put a little mark on the margin where you finish, so you know how fast you read now. Now I'll show you the secret sauce. You're going to want to use your left hand, and what you're going to do is move it from the left to the right margin. Imagine your eye following your hand as it goes all the way across, one line at a time, completely across the page, with your eye following. Go as fast as you could comprehend. As long as you still know what you're reading, keep speeding up till you don't, so you can identify your ceiling. Drop your speed down just enough so your comprehension comes back. And for 5 minutes in the second chapter, practice using your left hand, going all the way across, not down the middle, as fast as you could comprehend. Then go back to where you initially tested yourself. And this time read for 1 minute with your hand. You'll go 10, 15, 20% further, just changing that one little piece of the skill. So that's the first step in learning to read faster. But more important than speed is comprehension. So we want to show you now, that's one of my students, Stephen. Stephen went to UTA in Arlington, graduated at 16 with a 4.0, majored in economics. Stephen went to the OU, when he was 18 for a master's degree in math, graduated at 19 with a 3.97. So to me, that's exciting. That's more exciting than being on a TV show, because he can change how we solve the budget problem in this country. He's working for the Fed right now as an analyst and sending him to the London School of Economics. I can't fix that problem, but I'd like to think that maybe what I taught him will help him to do it. And that's what gets me excited. That's my real pleasure in life. What about comprehension? Much more important than speed. I'm going to teach you the secret to understanding text, and it's schema. Schema is a simple word. This passage has no schema. Watch how confusing it is. Then I'll put on a title, and watch how instantly you know exactly what it means with just 2 words. This is an easy thing to do. Many people are able to do it at an early age. Be careful not to rush, or you may have a serious problem. You can learn it by yourself, but probably will want someone to help you. It's confusing, but when you put a title on it, bike riding, now it's simple. Bike riding, it's easy to do. Many people are able to do it at an early age. Be careful not to rush, or you may have a serious problem. The schema is the golden ticket. It's what makes the meaning pop off the page. Whether you're reading a business book, a science book, a medical book, topic doesn't matter. Genetics, organic chemistry. When you have the schema, it makes sense. And when you don't know what you're reading. So we're training people to go 2 to 4 times faster, showing them exactly where these clues are. So even though they speed up, their comprehension is better than it was at the slower speed, because they know where the decoder ring is. Now, the business question I have to ask you now is, what are you doing in your business to make the material that you share with your prospects and clients easy to comprehend? Are you working with their map or your map? It's very important that when we explain things to people, we explain it so it makes sense to them and not the expert, which is what we are. It doesn't matter that you understand it. If they don't get it, they're going to have a problem, and you won't get a recommendation, and you may need to make a refund. The next thing, Joe, there's Justin. He was just a normal kid, C student. Finished high school at 15, got his 2-year degree at 17, his bachelor's at 19, master's in English at 21. He's currently a professor in Tarrant College at 22. Very proud of Justin. And he's getting his doctorate. Now I want to show you the single most important skill for success, and it's called emotional intelligence. Let's imagine I'm teaching you how to drive, and you go for your road test, and you get nervous when you take a test and you fail the test, not because you can't drive, but because you can't test well. How often does that happen? People get nervous taking exams or tired. I'm going to show you a strategy for getting unlimited energy. Is it possible to focus the camera on me so I could stand up and demo? Is that yes? Thank you. I want you to stand, please. Just one drill, We know the left side of the brain controls the right the left. Touch your left hand to your right shoulder and your right to your left, alternating. And it's not just the Macarena without music, it's a brain massage. Now touch your opposite knee. You'll see you have to think about it. Both sides of your brain are engaged. Make a fist with your right hand. Put your thumb in your fist and go, I feel great. Yes. Say it like you mean it. I feel great. Yes. You can't fool your brain. Now we're going to do 3 sets of these, and when you're done, I'll show you the elicit energy. When you're bored at a meeting, not this one, when you're driving home in traffic, when you have an important class and you're tired. Instant energy. Taking the hands first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do you feel? I feel great. Yes. A little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do you feel? I feel great. Yes. Sprint it all out. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How do you feel? I feel great. Yes. Give yourselves a big hand. Smile. Sit down and feel great. Do you know what happens when you do this 3 times? Nothing. Now you probably would like something, so let me tell you how to make that happen. Remember Pavlov? He rang a bell. he fed a dog. He rang a bell, he fed a dog. He rang a bell, he fed a dog. He rang the bell, the dog drooled. You don't want to drool. You want energy. What you did is you stimulated left and right, both together, and then increased the rate of respiration by speeding up. Got more oxygen to your brain, felt more alert. At the peak, you went, I feel great, yes, this is your bell. The latest studies show it takes 90 days, not 30 like they used to teach, to create a new habit. By doing this slow, medium, fast, once a day for 90 days, now you're in a business meeting. You don't want to start tapping your shoulders. It's not going to go over well. But under the table, you could put your thumb and say, I feel great, yes, that's your bell. And what would you feel? The way you just felt. In the same way, you could create all kinds of emotional states to help people be successful. So what you have to ask yourself in business right now is, what are you doing to create the emotional states to successfully use your product and service? And what are you doing to extinguish the states interfering with the use of your product and service? Think about how many times people have made returns or complained, not because you didn't tell them what to do, because they were in the wrong state of mind and didn't use it properly, but we didn't teach them how to get in the right state of mind. And that's part of what we need to do in business. Even though it's in no business book, it's a critical piece of the puzzle. Next thing I want to do is math. I'm going to do this quickly. Speed math, because most people find math very intimidating. Imagine doing 103 times 107 in your head in 3 seconds, no calculator. You can, and I'll show you the secret. How far from 100 is 103? 3. How far from 100 is 107? You can write them down next to or picture them. Just multiply the differences. 3 times 7, 21. And you could add diagonally. 103 and 7 is 1, and 107 and 3 is 110. They're both the same. Whichever way is easier, it's always the same answer. So whichever way to add is easier for you, do it, because it's the same answer. And so we get 110, 21. 103 times 107 is 11,021. How much math did you just do? That's how easy math is. Last subject, and then I'm going to turn it back to the leader. Memory, very, very important. People often say, okay, you read fast, do you remember anything? I'm going to show you how to be a memory genius now. I'm going to give you 10 things to remember. I won't show you how, and I'll show you how, and you'll remember them backwards and forwards effortlessly. And please do this with me, because it's actually a tool you can use in business and your kids can use in school. We're going to learn pole, shoes, tricycle, car, glove, gun, dice, skate, cat, bowling pins. And if you're like most people, you don't remember everything backwards and forwards. One of the secrets discovered thousands of years ago in Greece, if you take something you know and link it to something you need to know, it takes a fraction of the time. It's like having a hanger in a closet. You put clothes on hangers, you hang new data on existing hangers. We can count to 10 because we know those numbers. So we'll use those numbers as our hangers. And a pole looks a lot like a 1. So when I say pole, you say 1. Ready? 1. Pole. 2. How many shoes are you wearing? So 2 is? And 1 is? Perfect. 3. Tricycle. How many wheels on a tricycle? 3. What's 3? Tricycle. 2. Shoes. 1. Perfect. 4. Car. How many tires on a car? 4. So 4 is? Car. 2 is? 2. Shoes. 1. 3. I'm deliberately jumping so you're not memorizing, you're associating. 5 is a glove. How many fingers in a glove? So 5. 3. 1. Perfect. 6 gun. They love them in Texas. 6 gun. What's 6? 4. 2. Perfect. 7 is lucky in dice, at least on the first throw. So we're going to say 7 is dice. What's 7? 5. 3. 1. Getting smarter already. See how easy this is? 8 skates. Say that. 8 skate. Rhymes works. What was 8? 6. What did they love in Texas? 4. And 2. We're almost done. How many lives does a cat have? 9. So 9 is? Cat. 7 is Lucky in? Dice. 5? 3? 1? Last number. How many bowling pins in a bowling lane? 10 bowling pins. Let's do the whole list now. 1. Perfect. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8 rhymes with 9 is a cat. And the last one, 10. How does it make you feel? Great. When you feel great, do that and it makes it stronger. So how do you use this? Imagine we are learning geometry and the value of pi to measure a circle is 314. Weird number. 3 is a tricycle, 1 is a pole, 4 is a car. We make a movie. Picture a tricycle hitting a pole on a car. Tricycle hits a pole on a car. Tricycle, what number?
3.
Hits a pole
1.
On a car.
4.
That's how you remember numbers. You can learn product SKU numbers, due dates for taxes or important reports. You turn the number into a movie, and the 0 is the 10. The bowling pins is your 0. So, what are you doing in your business to make the materials you present to your prospects and clients easy to remember and recall when they need it? So those are 3 black holes I identified. What are you doing to make it schematically meaningful? What are you doing to create the emotional states they need to be successful? And what are you doing to make the information they need to have from you easy to remember? Now, I have one last thing I wanted to do tonight. I wanted to give you a free present. I'm going to be a member, so I hope so anyway. I would like to be a member. How's that? And if you go to frompeartree.com/appointment, I'll give you a 15-minute free consultation and analyze what kind of learning problems or opportunities there are for you in your business and your families. And there's no charge for that. And be happy to help you and explore what I can do to help the members in the group. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll open up to questions now.
Thank you, Howard. That was great. And
thank you.
We all learned more than we thought we could learn, probably.
This is what I do.
The new method.
And this is what I do. I teach people how to make products. Like 1 year I made 40 products. I wrote a book for Amazon in 5 hours and went to #1 the next day. You can create a book, an ebook, a DVD, a webinar, and all in one day, all at the same time. And you might say, why would I want to do that? Because you want to be the authority. You want to be the financial planner that wrote the book on how to be rich. You want to be the chiropractor that shows you how to cure back pain. You may not sell the book. You could, but you may give them to patients to share with their friends in DVDs and webinars. And when you can create an endless stream of high-value information, and when they need an interview, you're the one they'll come to interview. When they need a person to help them with the problem, you're the expert they go to. So these are important skills as well. Maybe in a future meeting we could do some more stuff. What you could do is make it fun. What I do in my math program is I take a student and says, math's too hard, I can't do it, I don't get it, and you make it easy, and just like we just did. And you say, oh, well, how could you tell me you can't do it? You just did 103 times 107 in your head in 3 seconds. You can't tell me you can't do it. You did it. And so the psychological barrier, which is I can't learn this, it's too hard, is removed. And if you truly believe you can't do something, you can't, because your belief is going to block the success. So that's something you could do. Another thing you could do is before you teach the math, and this is what we did in my school, we taught them how to learn. The memory comes first, even before the reading with the little ones, because they can't read. So when they're learning to read, they're learning how to remember how to read. When they're learning math, they're learning how to remember math. We don't teach them how to remember, and we penalize them and chastise them for not remembering when we never taught it. It's not the kid's fault if you never taught them the skill. It isn't an inborn skill. It isn't a natural thing. It's something that needs to be taught. So every student in my school, before they got any content, were taught how to remember and learn and read and write and count. Then they got the content. And they were doing college courses at 11. We didn't have one kid who was in junior high ever graduate high school. Sounds really bad. They all had college degrees before they got out of high school, because that's how fast they were learning. It was very exciting to watch that. Very. Does that help?
Yeah, I'll tell her.
Any other questions?
Send her a class.
I would be happy to do that. I'm still a teacher. I taught for 10 years, and I don't think it ever completely gets out of you when you've done that. I loved what I did, but the school had 2% graduate. I volunteered to do what I just did, and they wouldn't let me because it wasn't in the curriculum. I was like, you got a 98% failure rate. What can I do to ruin your numbers? And they wouldn't let me help. I said, I can't spend the rest of my life making kids dumb. I became a consultant so I could be brought in as an outsider. Now they'll listen to me. The consultant don't listen to. The teacher isn't the principal, so they would ignore me because the power structure in the building was such that how could I know more than the principal, even if I did? It didn't matter. So now I'm working more in the kids than I ever did before, but it's helping them. They're actually getting something. The kids are the future, and I don't think anyone's ever gotten up and said, there are too many smart people in the world making too many good decisions. I don't believe we can reach everyone. But if we can reach the leaders, and that's what Rotary is about. The kids who are in Rotary are leaders. They're not followers. But you reach the right leaders with the right message, and you can change the world. And that's my goal. I think that I can help accomplish that. I've read 30,000 books. If I've learned anything, no matter how much you learn, there's more than you've ever read left. There's more books being written than you could read. And even at 80 pages a minute, you can't know it all. So surround yourself with other smart people, motivated people, leaders. And that's the key to succeeding. Take your skills and meld them with other people who are skilled and gifted too.